Oke guys, kali ini kita akan menonton pertandingan antara BTR dan Iku di ESL Snapdragon Playoff. Dan di sini gelar dari Iku itu Baxia dan Superken pakai
Oh, this is a pretty new team. We actually spoke about this off cam.
Stepping
in for Yaoi now. As you can see from their trio MDL, it seems like, you know, the synergy just is better for them.
Jungle dari BTR.
A little bit sad, but on the other hand, I'm actually quite intrigued to see how this is going to work out. And talking about intrigue, look at Key's choice of talent. He actually went for lethal ignition to what we're used to accustomed, which is pull yourself together.
Wait, Superken. I don't know what happened early. Oh, he stole the orange buff, Zyda! Early on, already pushing Superken into deep waters. And Superken is still level 2. Zyda's level 4, and he's going to clear the entirety of his own orange buff as well. Bigatron Alpha struggling early.
Di bawahnya XP-nya udah sekarang sampai Mobile Legends tamat guys. Duanya parah. Atasnya saya akan pakai Beatrix, outplay pakai Brody.
Looking for crumbs here, especially now that the neutral objective is about to spawn. A lot of them not yet level 4 just yet, like Key, who heavily needs it, as well as Supervin. So already a huge dub for Echo here in this first neutral objective.
Huge dub is a bit of an understatement at this point. It's just Echo can do anything they want in the neutral objectives. Bigatron Alpha can't even look for a contestant. Just like that, Zyda picks up the first turtle of the game. Level 5 on the way to 6. He's already going for more invades. Completely capitalizing, punishing Superken on the Joy. Supervin. Dar's Revenge coming down. JP with a good Divine Judgment, but Key jumps in now with the call. Alter helping him out. The real revelation comes down from Sanji, able to dish out a lot of damage. Rizzo jumps in the back, but Key falls to the hands of Zyda. Echo, they start first with a first blood.
This is what we're expecting from the composition that Echo has
brought. They're
going in for a lot of pickups, they're going in for that early lead. And you can see here, even, oh wait, so Rizzo, okay, Zyda still gets that buff. But despite the option that Bigatron actually has later on, I feel like that power spike comes later. So Bigatron Alpha, they just need to be able to sustain through all this aggression, try to pass and push through the aggression coming in from Echo, and they're going to be just fine because the power spikes, they got to wait for the power spikes. If they play into the tempo of Echo, that's when things get a little bit too snowbally, especially for Zyda, and that's dangerous.
Absolutely. I think for Echo, they need to try to just utilize this pressure that they have, start going for early invades, and just secure neutral objectives. Because at this point, well, good Divine Judgment, bringing Supervin back. The Menace Rage comes down, but Outplayed is able to outplay the situation, gets out and gets a kill back to 0 for Echo.
Sitting 1-0-0 as well for Outplayed in particular. You think that, let's say, you don't see some progress from Echo, and Outplayed just really shines as always. And we're also talking about the synergy between the trio. It's looking pretty good, Mirko. It's scary.
It really is. I mean, we've been seeing this. When JP stepped into the group stages, it just feels like Echo finally clicked. We haven't seen this style of Echo in a long time. I think it was M4 and MPLPH Season 11 that we got to see prime Echo. But at this point, 2,000 gold lead, it's safe to say that they are comfortably in the lead. And you know what happens when Echo are in the lead usually. It's very hard to take it off of them.
We'll see, we'll see. I mean, right now, both these teams, they're going to look for a little bit more. Echo already has the upper hand in this neutral objective. Better setup as well. Saken, it's not it. Not yet. Oh, JP goes in.
Clear line judgment. Good disengage. Supervin gets him out, but he's going to pay with his life. Zyda's the one who picks up the kill. Outplayed, not given the kill here. But Echo, they still utilize this to completely bully Saken in lane. You can expect the entirety of the shield turret being taken out by Outplayed.
And this is an automatic 3,000 gold lead right now. As Sanji opens up that real-world manipulation. He's actually forced to use that cult altar as well, so another resource
Oh,
just
nggak habis tapi
stripped away
platingannya,
from
guys.
Bigatron Alpha here in the first 5 minutes of the game. Can you imagine with all this happening? It's only been 5 minutes in the game.
Super Ken-nya akhirnya masuk ke
Whether
jungle-nya
it be
Echo.
MPL, MDL, they certainly know how to punish their
Dapat
enemies. And
buff
here we go,
birunya.
once again going to the bottom side.
Oh, shield unity
Oh.
stopping Super Ken as he dashes forward, but what is that damage? Sanford on the Uranus, they're looking for a dive. Sanji flickers forward, Super Ken.
Kennya mati
Under
dong.
he falls to Sanji with a flicker. Very, very aggressive. And the Echo Express now,
kayaknya dijepit.
they're all in.
Nggak kena, digocek.
Oh, they're going all in as well
Oh, ke
here.
bawah
Being
lagi.
forced to flicker out of that aggression coming in from Zyda as he doesn't mind going under the turret. He's not
buff birunya.
deterred with the damage from the turret here. Echo,
Oh,
4,000 gold lead already, getting another turret in that mid side. It's not something that we're used to seeing
Kalau
from
Echo, Sar.
Bigatron. Super Ken at 3 levels below
Dari
Zyda right now. Certainly isn't a
area
good
view-nya masih
game,
lebih
but-
besar Echo jadinya karena dia dapat
and that's just it, right? Sanford 2v1ing Saken, the main
dimakan lagi
damage
sama
dealer,
Zyda.
dealing 0 to little
Mau
damage.
dijepit.
How are
Tarik
they
kah?
supposed to play around
Nggak.
this?
I mean, at this point, Echo completely just, forced Bigatron Alpha into a corner, right? It's just Echo doing everything on the map. You don't see any sort of counter play for Bigatron Alpha. They're not even
Handphone
able to
apa?
contest for anything.
Masih
Even their
keamanan
own
belum
orange
kah?
buff. Heck, Super again, I think he's only gotten one
Kena
orange
City.
buff this entire game, and that's the one
Oh, Brave Smith.
previously from this
Harus
one.
kayak.
Zyda was able to steal it away with the Retribution, and it's perfectly timed for the turtle that's coming up. Sanford
Masih ada ulti
needs a few
tuh.
turret shots, but it's all good. Zyda picks up the turtle
Turtle,
for free
Echo.
again, and Echo are just rolling through Bigatron Alpha.
Dude, no way. Saken just picked up the Blade of Despair. He's so far behind, outplayed. Brody already picked up the Malefic Roar.
Di bawah Sided kah ini?
Harrison, so
0-4
you can already
sejauh
see
ini.
the difference in damage coming in from both of. Oh, wait a minute, JP.
Flicker Divine Judgment on the
Rizulnya
Chorizo,
ketangkep.
but it's a good pull into the Bandit's Rage.
Ada yang mati
Alder
tapi
saves
Ekonya.
them, and they find
Ekonya
a
sekarat.
super fit in the back.
Dibalikin.
Finds 3 members, and now
Let's
Saken is on a roll.
go.
They pick up a triple kill out of nowhere, and Bigatron
Tinggal Zyda
Alpha,
doang kan.
somehow, some way, they found an opening in the game.
The venue roars.
Momentumnya
They're so happy to
Captain Finn
see
emang tidak
this
pernah.
really come to this point. Like you mentioned, with 4 members taken down from Echo, now that's the beauty of the composition that Bigatron Alpha brought to the table. They have so much CC, they have so much potential and resources that they can utilize in these team fights to outplay Echo in these circumstances. And taking a look at the items, here, this is what I was so
BTR udah habis
concerned
semua.
about. With Brody already picking up the Heptases and
Tidaknya.
the Malefic Roar, that's
Sekarang
already enough
posisinya
damage. Meanwhile, the
masih
Matrix
diunggulan
just
Echo, tapi
picked up
nggak
that
terlalu
Blade of
jauh.
Despair, Mirko.
Networknya beda
We
3.0.
mentioned this earlier. We said maybe this is going to be a late power spike for the Beatrix, you know,
Momentumnya bagus banget
7th
tadi.
minute BOD, but then they just got a triple kill. So it kind of equalizes everything that Outplayed has been doing. You know, all the gold lead that he had, now it's only down to 10 Eterna. And Saken, he's in the same level as Outplayed. Even Superken has been given enough time and resources to catch up by a bit. But Zyda is still very much in a comfortable position, 2 levels ahead. It's going to be 3 after he clears this mini wave up.
That's not good at all here coming in from the rotations, but like you mentioned, there is still a possibility for Bigatron Alpha to come back. And so now Echo, they're put in a position, they're given the question, how are you going to be able to close this as soon as possible? Because with the laning phase already done and dusted, these teams, they're going to clump up as 5.
Kan
In this
lane-nya
5v5
imbang
situation,
semuanya.
I feel like the composition for Bigatron
Ada yang
Alpha
dorong.
works a little bit better. And now we'll see exactly how this is going to work out, because 8 minutes in, 9 minutes in, you can see that Echo, they're already starting the Lord. You can see the positioning coming in from Chorizo. Even if he doesn't land his skill shots, there's always Key, there's always Supervin as well. So they also need to be aware of where Supervin is in these particular team fights.
Pindah konsil.
He's looking for Super Ken. Sanford spots Super Ken right now. JP has the flicker. Not going to be able to go in just yet. He's holding on to it, but Super Ken
Enggak.
jumps in. Now finds a Tyrant's Rage on the JP. Now it's an all-out fight as Chorizo was able to pull Outplayed, but he's able to flicker back out. Lord taking very low right now, and it's Zyda who secures the tournament memory.
Gila.
Into the back by
Petrinya.
Outplayed. He wreaks havoc upon the robots. Chorizo running for his dear life, and Echo, they're able to secure another massive neutral objective.
And a 2-for-1 trade in terms of the teams. Echo getting all the right picks all the right trades and all the right places here. You can see the Lord already marching there in the mid side. Sanji already being super annoying. The slow is there. You can feel the damage start to come through, especially since he already picked up that Holy Crystal. And there you go, outplayed with that BOD. You can expect that to land. Super high damage coming into the siege.
Lord's still going to be dealt with though, however. Echo
Tapi
won the
mid taruh
team
tengahnya
fight.
udah
But
hilang sama
unfortunately
yang
for
bawah.
them,
Itu
they
juga
weren't
dapat itu.
able to take Saken down, who is basically for Bigatron Alpha the only sort of really
Ini Eko
reliable
masih megang dominasi.
on this Bennett. You saw it with your own eyes. JP though, flicker. Oh, he catches Superfin.
Ditarik
Brilliantly
ini.
played. Bringing him back now. Outplay, dishing out the damage on Torn Apart Memory. Taking him out with a killing spree. Saken able to dash out. Key as well. Oh.
Oke.
What is that
Atas
damage
yang
from
mau
Outplay?
dikomit.
Saken just stands his ground with the Mirror's
Oh.
Passion.
Tapi JP-nya.
Bringing JP back, but the turret should still fall.
Tarik, tarik.
Outplayed.
Taruh
Just
atas. Oh, enggak,
hitting,
enggak.
munching on
Nggak ada
these
sih.
turrets.
All right. No casualties from the side of Echo, but Supervin had to go out because of that engage. But here we see start of a silver lining coming in from Bigatron Alpha, right? As this game progresses, like we mentioned, things are getting a little bit more equal. You can see here Saken on the gold earned leaderboard, really catching up to Outplayed. I think there's 1,000 difference, but now Saken already picked up the Malefic Roar. So in these team fights, when they're expecting Saken to deal the damage, he definitely can, but they need to be able to protect him long enough, which he was able to do previously. But with this dive,
Sunportnya flanking. Tarik Sunportnya.
JP. No flicker this time, so Bigatron Alpha still can escape. But you want to finish your point?
yeah, I was worried about the dive, right? Because that's what Echo has. They have Zyda to dive into the backline. They have JP to go for that ultimate on to Saken. And with these kinds of distractions happening and with so many things that Saken really needs to avoid, it's a little bit more difficult for Bigatron Alpha.
I agree. I think for Bigatron Alpha, it really relies on how Saken is able to play out in these team fights, right? Because
Yeah.
it feels like it is still a front-to-back composition,
masih sih,
heavily
lagi bagus-bagusnya ya.
prioritizing Saken.
Di MPL
You have a few
Indonesia
side
juga
members
dipakai terus
from
sama
Super
versi.
Can, but they're just
Buat
there to
RRQ
act
win
as a
streak.
distraction, or just to take out Sanji. Superfin now caught all alone, isolated from the team, taken out even without anything.
diberikan.
Flicker, I'm a
Sorry,
fan,
zonya
entire
tadi
range
flanking.
coming down with a Bennett's
Rata
range.
Ekonya.
Drop down upon Echo. Now Outplay is going to be shut down
Oh.
in the back. Sorizo out of nowhere picks up a double. Now stunning JP up. Saken
Nggak bisa ini
another
tebel
wave,
semua.
2 members down
Tapi
for
damage dealernya udah
Echo
hilang.
as the Lord, this time in hands, spawns in.
Oh no!
Mereka mau
4
ngambil
members
road.
still alive and well for the side of Bigatron Alpha. The lead that Echo
Mending
had
cari
built
orang nggak
from
sih?
that
Menang
early
jumlah.
game now is going to be
Ada Sorizo
tested
sih buat
here in
badannya.
the 13th minute of the game. You can see, oh, Sorizo goes in with I'm offended.
Lidahnya masih hidup ya.
Still able to get out though, but this is the Lord dance that severely favors Bigatron Alpha here.
Kok geli gitu kan
Outplayed
masih
is
ininya
respawning though,
damage-nya
Supervin
Joy.
as well. Now with Sanji and Outplayed
Udah ada
back,
Athena kan?
Bigatron Alpha, that window has closed to go for the Lord. Echo will go back. They have a slow push down below as well. I'm offended with the Bennett's Rage combo down.
JP-nya.
GP almost losing immortality. Is able to dash away, but the real manipulation has been used. Shielding it out, jumping on the Sorizo. Is still able to escape for a bit, but they're looking to hunt him down. Slowed once again. Sorizo gets out. Echo, they've committed 2 ultimates.
Tapi harus
Brutus
pulang.
and the RWM. Bigatron, they've committed 1 now.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it, right? They're
Ini
able
balik lagi 5 lawan
to buy
5.
some time for their team. They were able to zone the members of Bigatron Alpha away. And even if they committed and they at least get a pick onto the side of Bigatron Alpha, the Super can really want to go for a 50-50. He's still a level below Zyda right now. So I don't know how far Bigatron Alpha are willing to contest. I think they need to buy some time for Super Ken in particular to catch just a little bit up before they go for a 50-50. I'm wondering why they still want to commit onto this. Why not look for something else on the other side of the map?
Simply put, it's Echo that is forcing it. You can see it's Echo that are
Gue
holding
syutingnya
the Lord
alam
down. They are
makanya
starting this
nguap-nguap,
Lord dance.
guys.
So Bigatron Alpha, they have no other way, no other response but to try to match it. Sure, 1 level lead. Zyda definitely has the advantage, and it's a big
Masih
one
nahan semua,
here,
tapi
especially considering Echo
lainnya udah
have the
didorong
divine
sama
judgment
BTR.
within their arsenal. But it's a fight that Bigatron Alpha needs to take. They need to try to push the
Masih
waves
itu,
as
kalau
well.
nggak
So
di-clear,
far, take a look at the slow
bawahnya
push down
Eko.
below. Bigatron Alpha have done
Ya.
their due diligence here, clearing
Kita
out
hit
the waves,
bawahnya Eko.
getting good setup down for this Lord dance.
That's true, that's true. You can see here already Zyda forcing to clear that mid wave as well. I guess that's an objective that they're willing
Nggak
to
dong, ada
let
creep lagi.
go. Because of the short side,
Udah
they are going to be able
nunggu.
to clear that top, but look at this. JP already with concealed play. He used flicker as
Makanya
well.
JP used Flicker, has the Divine Judgment, so Rizzo now caught in the
Rugi
mid right now. Divine
di
Judgment comes through on
pajak.
Supercam with the call altar. Saves.
Wah, Zainanya
Flies
kejebak di
in the
tengah tuh.
back. You can see some revenge jumping in with the rage, but Rizzo falls first. The rage doesn't connect onto anyone. Sanji's able to withstand it with the real world manipulation. And just like that, Echo, they will
Itu Vin
secure
tadi udah bagus
another
banget, tapi
neutral objective
susah sih.
through their
Depannya udah
chaotic
di blok
team fight.
masalahnya.
If it was Leo, he would be saying how the Orcas
Mati.
know how to tango, and that's exactly what they were able to do. Make it a little bit more messier, not a pure 5v5. Use the fact that their composition was built for pickoffs and getting two in the process, plus a Lord as well. All in all, it's Echo with the advantage, and as well with the map pressure. And Bigatron Alpha still looking for ways to punish the Orcas here.
It's a super one-dimensional team fight comp for Bigatron Alpha, and that's why they have to rely on
Boost
these
mental,
team fights.
Echo.
Meanwhile, Echo, the reason you see them completely, I would say, dominating in this game, aside from some team fights, is the fact that they have everything in their game, everything in their drafts. They were given the right tools, and now this might be the end.
It truly is here. Outplayed already picking up the Athena shield as well, so just in case there's some damage coming out from a Key, as well as Super Ken. Honestly, he is going to be able to outmaneuver and outsustain that damage. That Lord already being able to get that inhibitor turret in the top side. You can see Sanford as well as Zaida pushing in that
Masih aman.
bottom lane. But it's going to be defended here. Bigatron Alpha, they walk away,
Anjir,
but they walk away with
lane-nya
one
juga,
less
tapi
inhibitor turret.
masih ada lane
But look at
besar
that
di
mid
atas
and that
Soldo.
bottom wave crashing in unison.
Aman
See
sih
chance to
seharusnya.
stop JP with a good pull. Rizzo pulled back the call altar, not within the range. Now Super Ken jumping to the back now with the rhythm, dealing a lot of damage onto the back.
Ini belum
Look at the
ngecap.
damage coming through as well. Wow, he
Baru
finds
di-charge.
Sanji in that team fight, and not even a base turret falls
Nggak jadi
here.
di-cancel.
JP gets shot, still tanky enough to withstand. Meanwhile, Sanford, the prodigy from the Philippines, taking the second base turret down at the bottom
Sorry
lane.
guys.
Super Vin,
Ooh.
catches!
Revenge and the rage don't fall up right now. Outplayed, able to flicker around, but the Shadow Stampede brings him back. Now Saka dealing damage, but the outplay!
Wah.
With a
Gagapin
brilliant play
ultinya
to
Saka.
cancel it out to get a kill back on the Saken. Now it's Zaida and Sanford versus Vin and Ken. Both will disengage, but Bigatron Alpha, they have lost this skirmish.
And they lose
Nge-damage.
Saken in the process. A really good pick coming in off
Sorry,
from
Jonya juga
Super
ada
Vin,
di
but
bagi Sanji juga
unfortunately, it's not as worth it now that we think about it. You can see, though, it does give some space
Wait.
for Super Ken. Sanford,
Transportnya.
what are you doing?
Takutnya mati.
Consecration Sanford, the
Wow.
genius.
I would have sworn that was Sanford's second death of this game. But he was able to get out of that. What is
Takut
that?
banget.
It's a type of play that
Check
you
lagi.
wouldn't expect from anyone except for Sanford. If it's Sanford, you chill. You take a chill pill and you relax because Sanford knows his limits. Take a look at the items here. The reason he wanted to push it even further, to risk that, was because he knows, he calculates this. With the Oracle, the Blade Armor, and even the Radiant Armor here, there's not much kill threat from Bigatron Alpha.
All right. But you know what's a
Dan
threat?
armor buat nahan siapa?
What?
Nahan
The
Ken.
fact that Faramis built full damage. That's scary coming into these team fights. So not only does he have to
Harusnya Kak.
sustain,
Kayak
he
juga
also
ya, kayak
is
ikan
going to be
gitu ya.
able to deal that damage. And I keep mentioning this in the drafts. People don't really consider Faramis to be a huge
Makan.
magic dealer.
Lumayan.
But the fact
bakar.
is you don't feel it. But he is, especially with how aggressive he was building, even with the Divine Glaive as well for that extra penetration. Echo, though now, they're going to be able to set up for this Lord a little bit better. They've actually brought it to their side as well.
Harus flicker kah?
This is scary.
Very scary. I think it's much better than previous. Look at this, Sorizo already sent down
Super
below. Vin wants to go for it even without Sorizo. Risky plays, JP! Flicker in, only finding the Divine Judgment on the Super Vin and Super Ken now. Pops in the
Nggak bisa
rhythms.
lepas.
Big ultimate used up by Super Ken. Zaida with the shield unity.
Oh,
JP,
Sorizo
no
nggak bisa
Divine
join.
Judgment. The real world manipulation comes down onto Key. Flickers out. Sanford gunning him down.
Oh,
Blade.
masih
with a
kebuka
good
ultinya
attack forward,
Faramis.
setting Saken up now with the flicker
Ooh.
coming down. Outplay still able to burst them down. Super Ken and Zaida.
Super Ken
50-50 on the
sendiri.
back. Let's see who gets this because the fight
Siapa yang
definitely
dapat?
attack going in with
Zaida.
the Lord. Zaida has picked it up and
Aduh.
Super Ken will fall. 16-9, 19 minutes in.
The three members from the side of Bigatron Alpha are out as well. Key is going to be up just in time to save this, but
Jadinya lepas
with
ya.
Super Vin and
Siapa yang bisa
Super
nangkap
Ken on
Brody?
the board, what is Echo
Kufra.
expecting to
Tapi
take here
Kufranya-
other than victory? That top lane is
Susah
gonna be
dari tadi
crashing
dapet
that
momen
mid
tapi
as well. That
follow
bottom
up-nya
is
jauh
going to
gara-gara
in
dihadang
favor
sama
of Echo because of the lack of the
Unport
inhibitor
Zaida
turret.
sama siapa tuh?
Echo,
JP.
once again, what amazing plays happening, and look at this.
Even with the menace
Ketahan,
range, the auto
Torizo.
kill from Sanji was perfect.
Meledak immortalnya,
Outplay now
Winter.
pushes Torizo
Enggak.
down, the base wide open, and Echo they'll take game number
Bagus
1.
momentumnya.
What an amazing
Cuma
start
tadi
to the
setiap kali
series
dapet
by
momen,
the
Kufranya nggak bisa
Orcas.
masuk. Kufranya.
Even without Yawi, they're
Damage
proving
dealernya BTR nggak bisa
that
masuk
they
guys.
have what
Oke,
it
itu dia
takes.
1-0 di match
Not even
pertama
sweating, just a
Equal lawan
bit
BTR.
from
Kita
that
bakal
early
lanjut
game
match
to that
selanjutnya.
mid game,
Bye.
up until the very